Good morning, folks. How we doing? I can't watch this shit on TV. I'm coming back to it. Hold on, give me 1 minute. Let's let some people join in here, folks. Hold on.
What a beautiful shot that is of the White House, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, 18 acres there. And the president-elect's motorcade is now underway. They are holding for a moment just to make sure that Joe Biden and Dr. Joe Biden are positioned at the North Portico to receive them. We know that J.D. Vance and his wife Usha are already inside with Kamala Harris, the vice president, and the second gentleman, Doug Emhoff. We've got about 2 more hours for those titles. Bill?
You know, Dana, the clock says 11:47 for the swearing in. So by my watch, we're, 2 hours away from that. And based on the current schedule, it looks like we are right on time. And we need that, Dana, because it's written in the Constitution. So stand by. We'll watch it together now from the North Portico
Here we go.
of the White House.
All right, folks, look at this uncomfortable situation. Holy shit. Glad y'all can make it this morning. This is the inauguration. Moved it back a little bit just for the people. Chris, how you doing? I'm doing all right.
Well,
There you have it, Bill,
it's
the
tea
moment
time,
we've all
Dana.
been waiting for.
Yeah.
Indeed. Go
Yeah.
ahead, Bill.
Yeah, no, it's tea time at the White House, and just thinking about that here, there's, I mean, maybe a couple hundred people behind us here at Emancipation Hall, and they erupted in cheers as they saw the President and the First Lady, incoming President and First Lady, on the monitor behind us. I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.
I don't want to.
Hey friends, I'm Otis Gibbs, and this is my buddy Kenny Vaughn. He's going to share stories about playing guitar for over 20 years with Marty Stewart.
The first time I met him was at a horrible outdoor concert down in like Alabama.
All right, hold on a minute. Hold on, wait just a minute. Holy shit. I'm not liking this attitude of mine this morning. Now, Carla, man, you can't be arresting everybody. How is everybody doing? I don't know, folks. If I'm never going to get over this cold, I don't think. But it's what it is. It's what it is. How are your grapes, Carla? Let's get back. Hold on. I got to figure something out here. Sorry about that, folks.
On many fronts, you have the weather complications and everything else. So far, it seems smooth sailing as this inauguration goes.
How are you guys doing today?
Yeah, I mean, we were just talking about let this security helicopter pass, but we were just talking about immigration. Do you think he's going to do the kind of sweeping mass deportations that he's talking about?
Well, yes. I mean, we've got a serious situation in the United States. There's over 700,000 identified illegal aliens who have criminal records in the United States currently today. And that's the accumulation over the last 4 years of the open border policy of the Biden administration. And they're in the United States right now. So the first priority is to protect the homeland. So Homeland Security, Department of Homeland Security, is going to go and effectively remove people who have not only violated the immigration status, but who are a threat.
Start whacking her right when they get in the car.
The practicalities are just of getting rid of millions of people.
Sorry to interrupt. We've just seen the First Ladies leave the White House. Outgoing First Lady Jill Biden alongside Melania Trump making their way now to the Capitol from the White House. So we are expecting things to begin shortly. They are running behind time at this moment.
They are, but we've got plenty to talk about.
We do.
I was just saying, I mean, the practicalities of this immigration policy, so many deportations, potentially many millions, people who have not only got their lives here, but contribute to like economies and communities and so forth.
Yeah, but there's a difference between people who are a productive member of society and people who are a threat to society.
Yeah.
No one's saying that 700,000 criminals are going to be extradited overnight. It's going to take time, and you're going to have to go out and do a man search and find where these people are. But it doesn't mean you don't track down the people who are a threat to your society. I mean, you realize that an incredible problem we have in the United States of 4 years of an open border where everybody from not just Central America, China, Africa, Middle East. I mean, we even just recently caught somebody who is a Russian, coming across. So we have an incredible, task ahead of us. And I think President Trump is going to take it head on.
Well, as we've been saying, there are a number of executive orders that incoming President-elect Donald Trump will sign as soon as he is in the Oval Office. And one of them, we're being told, is on day one of the executive orders that President-elect Donald Trump will be signing is to rename the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. Now, he talked about this in Mar-a-Lago at a press conference a few weeks ago.
It just sings, doesn't it? I mean, Gulf of America.
Wasn't
I mean,
imposed
But isn't he got
while
more
we
in-
were
we
watching.
make up most of the coastline. So, I mean, I
Nancy Pelosi will not make it.
I think what's going to be an interesting
I don't
point.
care.
This is something that really hasn't been talked
Hold
about
on
that
here,
much.
folks. I'm coming
We'll
in
do
and
it here
out.
on Sky
I'll
News.
enjoy the
Is the
program.
fact that Donald Trump's actually going to be a leader on Latin American affairs. And a lot of the policies are going to be about Latin America coming up in this administration.
We'll just pick up on
There
that in
goes
a moment,
Carmelo.
Ron. But we just saw the Vice President, Kamala Harris, alongside incoming Vice President J.D. Vance. They've just come out of the White House following that tea that they had together after the church service at St. John's. They headed to the White House, and as is tradition, they had tea with the outgoing president and the outgoing first lady, as well as the vice president and second gentleman. And now they're making their way for what will be the start of the inauguration, where in about an hour and a half time, at 12 o'clock, we are going to see Donald Trump take the oath of office.
He wants to
I understand
rename
he's
the
going to take
Gulf
it at
of
around
Mexico to the Gulf of
11:47 to mark
That's
the
all
fact that he will be the
international waters. I don't see
47th
the
president of the United States. But just to pick up, Ron, on the points we're making, I mean, one of the questions around this Gulf of Mexico and citing this executive order, to change the name to the Gulf of America, it's not clear if a U.S. president has the authority to rename.
Oh, but it makes such good media. I mean, I don't know if the president does have the authority, but I think that with the president sending a very clear signal by statements like this, is that we're going to have an America First policy on how we deal, especially with our hemisphere, which is going to be interesting for a lot of people, because I think you're going to see a basic rewrite of the Monroe Doctrine that'll soon be known as the Trump Doctrine on how we deal with Latin America.
Rob, we're also joined by Hillary Rosen, Democratic strategist. And welcome, Hillary. Good to talk to you again. I just wonder what your thoughts are today. Trump won the election fair and square. I mean, this is his moment.
It is his moment. First of all, my first thought is that I'm sitting in a nice warm studio while you guys are on the roof freezing. But obviously it's been talked about all morning. You cannot overemphasize the nature of the historical comeback for Donald Trump here. And with a lot of differences, I think, from the first term, because, his first term was really marked by a significant amount of uncertainty, a lack of experience. He brought in a lot of people who he didn't know very well, who ended up not being particularly competent at making the kind of change he had promised. And so there was a little bit of a sort of a negative, his term was more about negation than it was about action. And I think this time you see in him a man determined to be active, determined from day one with 200 executive orders, with the kind of people that he's bringing in to actually change things. And that's something that hasn't happened in Washington in quite some time.
Yeah, I mean, Hillary, as you say, last night at the Capital One Arena, when Donald Trump was speaking to his supporters, he joked that one of his advisors had said to him, Mr. President, can't we sign these executive orders over a number of weeks? And he said, absolutely not. We're going to sign all of these before sunset on day one. So one of those things, Hillary, that's come up is he says that he's going to, on day one of the first executive orders that he's going to sign is the renaming of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. We've got Republican strategist here with us, Ron Phillips, who says, look, it rolls off the tongue nicely. But just all jokes aside, when Donald Trump talked about taking over Greenland, buying Greenland, or renaming the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, many commentators sort of said, this is just Trump being Trump, and he's just saying these things. He's not quite serious, but whether or not he has the authority to rename the Gulf of Mexico is not the point. He is going to try and do this on day one.
Okay, so Hillary, just breaking away from that for 1 second, because here come the president and the president-elect, and this really is a turning of the political page in the United States.
Yeah, it's very much part of the peaceful transfer of power that we're seeing in the United States. The 45th president of the United States becoming the 47th president of the United States. Again, a huge political comeback, as Hillary was saying there. And Hillary, I'm just going to bring you back into the conversation, because we're just seeing Donald Trump and Joe Biden make that journey from the White House to the Capitol, where they will enter the rotunda where this inauguration will take place. But I wonder how awkward this ride is going to be, given the executive orders, the preempted executive orders that Joe Biden has signed, and Donald Trump's already called them a disgrace.
Well, Donald Trump promised that he was going to eliminate every single executive order that Joe Biden wrote, which gives you a sense, I think, in some respects, of sometimes how amorphous executive orders can be. They don't always have the force of law. They're sometimes full of rhetoric, but they do change the federal regulatory system, often in many ways, as we will see with immigration, as we may see with energy. This car ride is going to be interesting. We won't know exactly what this conversation is, but I think that was Senator Amy Klobuchar, the chairman of the Senate Rules Committee, who is responsible for organizing the inauguration on behalf of the United States Senate, riding in the car with them. She's a known jokester. If anybody is going to cut the tension, it will be Senator Klobuchar. But Joe Biden is leaving today a bitter man, and it's sad and unfortunate. He has not had a ton of grace over these last couple of weeks. He's consistently carped at the electoral process and how he would have beaten Donald Trump if he didn't step out. And so this is, despite his intention today to be as diplomatic and presidential as possible, I think the bitter taste of the last several weeks in people's mouths mean that people actually are unfortunately ready for a change.
Yeah, just we're going to go to Mark Stone in just a second, but Ron, Biden is today providing the courtesies to Donald Trump that he himself was denied.
Oh yeah, I think there's no question. President Biden has been in government for over 40 years. So, I mean, he understands the institution, he understands the courtesies, he understands the diplomacy. I think there's no question on that. One thing Hillary said about executive orders, let's be historically correct. Day one, when Joe Biden became president of the United States, he repealed all of Donald Trump's executive orders and then put in his new executive order. Executive orders come and go with administrations and political philosophies.
Yeah, it's not unusual. Mark Stone is at the White House, and Mark, well, it's a big moment, isn't it?
Yes, as we look at the beast, as it's known, turning left onto Pennsylvania Avenue. It came out of the north gate of the White House and then headed south. Now it's heading east up Pennsylvania Avenue. Ahead of them there, they will be able to see the Capitol building. As we can hear, I think some crowds either side, some cheering there from those that have braved the cold. And inside that car, to be a fly on the window of that car. We've said it so many times today, but both outgoing and incoming presidents are in there. Joe Biden and Donald Trump side by side on the back seat of the most protected vehicle in the world as it drives up Pennsylvania Avenue from the White House to Capitol Hill, where this historic day will continue. And a news tsunami coming as this day unfolds, with executive orders that President Trump incoming will sign. Among them, an end, he says, to birthright citizenship, that cornerstone of of American culture, that if you are born in the United States, you get to be an American citizen. That, according to Donald Trump, is to end. Of course, as Hillary was saying, so many questions about the extent to which he can enact some of these executive orders. This one, birthright citizenship, well, that would require a change in the Constitution, which makes it a little bit more complicated indeed. But I'll leave you with these images of the beast heading up Pennsylvania Avenue towards the Capitol.
Uh-oh, hold on a minute.
As we've learned that Trump is issuing an executive order essentially calling for an investigation into the investigators, including some of those who were pardoned.
That's right. So soon after this inauguration, we'll begin to see some of that executive action, those orders take place. We'll dive into it all. You're not going to miss a thing here as they arrive here at the Capitol. We'll fit in a quick break.
Already threatening.
And we'll be right back.
Locking people. Hey, Romney, how
Donald
you
Trump's
doing?
inauguration in the Capitol. Joe Biden and Donald Trump in the motorcade now on the way together. And we'll be right back.
ABC News live coverage of the second inauguration of Donald J. Trump returns in a moment.
I guess they're going to just blow by Martin Luther King's birthday on this shit, right? I could say something, but I'm gonna hold my tongue on this because it would be either funny or I'd probably cut my own wrist, so I'm gonna hold on from this. I'll say it later.
America's most watched newscast.
The winner, Carrie Underwood.
You're amazing. You slayed it.
I love everything about you.
Oh my God.
You know how difficult my dad is.
You know, I hear it.
People are hanging out outside in and around D.C. People entering the Capitol right now, legislators and other guests. You heard Virginia Fox when she was leading the House saying that legislators will get seats and other distinguished getting seats to this event. Others will join as well. This event scheduled to start a little while.
I'm just trying to find out some audio.
In Maryland Democrats line. Hi.
Hi,
Depend
first I
on
want to say
C-SPAN
thank you
for
for
audio
listening.
and
And I
video.
heard someone earlier call and say this was a historic day, and I want to agree that this is historic because it shows where fraud and white power can get you. And for every Trump supporter that is excited for today, I just want to ask you.
Okay, let me pause you just for a second there. The president and the president-elect entering the Capitol right now. Let's watch a little bit of this.
Good morning, sir. How are you this morning?
Good morning. Thank you.
President Trump, how do you feel? President Biden?
Well,
Man, old rugged cross for Joe.
President and the
Old
president
rugged cross.
you probably saw Minnesota Democrat Amy Klobuchar too. She was the one leading a team of people in putting today's events together as part of a committee that's in charge of that. Chris, apologies for interrupting. Go ahead and finish your statement.
No problem. What I was saying was my question for every Trump supporter is how is this convicted felon able to rise to the highest government office in the land when other convicted felons cannot even get a job to make ends meet? Thank you.
Peter joins us from New York, Independent Line. Hello.
Yeah, hi. So I felt during this election that we had a false choice. I either had to choose, some geriatric who can't fulfill his promises or a accused rapist. So I didn't feel like I had much of a choice there. Plus, with both of them supporting Israel with no real stop to that, I couldn't vote for either of them. I just wish, in an ideal America that our politicians would divorce themselves from Israel and recognize the Palestinian state. I think it's about time. I think that we're funding murder, and sure, we have a ceasefire, but there's going to be another conflict within a year, if even. I mean, the West Bank is living under apartheid, and nothing's changing because they're our greatest ally. But what did they do for us? I honestly ask myself that every day, because I mean, when did they become our greatest ally? When they displaced millions of people throughout the Middle East? When they exacted our interests as our attack dog?
Okay.
What have they done for us?
Okay. Chris is next in New York, Syracuse, New York, Republican line.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for taking my call, and happy Martin Luther King Day. I just want to say it's a great day for a lot of people, but there's a lot of different comments and a lot of vitriol coming from other lines in to address a comment about separation of church and state earlier. I want to remind everyone, separation of church and state was put in to protect the church and the people to make them able to freely praise and worship who they choose, that to protect them from the government. That's what that's for. Otherwise, I'm very excited to see the Department of Government Efficiency. The money spending we have in this country is out of control. It needs to be fixed. And Donald Trump and the people that he's putting in his cabinet are the only people that are capable of doing that. Take a look outside, everybody. You don't have to watch the news every day. You don't have to let them tell you what to think. Go outside and touch some grass. It'll be okay. Make your own decisions. That's important nowadays.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Members of the president's hopeful cabinet, once they get confirmation, making their way into the ceremony as well. Vivek Ramaswamy and others, including Kash Patel, coming in and getting their seats. Kevin Hassett there on the right of your screen to serve in matters of economics for the president, and Tulsi Gabbard as well, hoping to become the next director of national intelligence. Graham in Jersey City, New Jersey, Democrats line.
Hi, I want to wish everyone a happy MLK Day. I hope everyone's staying warm. A bit disappointed how the election turned out. I think it would have been great to see a female president inaugurated today. While I'm disappointed in the American people and their desire to see another 4 years of Trump, I'm a bit more disappointed in the selection committee for not picking Alabama for the college football playoff finals, and instead picking inferior teams like SMU and Indiana. Truly dark times in America.
Okay, Graham there. We've got pictures of more of the president's hopeful cabinet. You heard John McArdle say that Marco Rubio expected a vote on his becoming Secretary of State expected today. Others to follow as well when the president hopefully will get members of his cabinet appointed by the Senate or confirmed by the Senate. Sonia in California, independent line. Hi.
Hi, good morning. I just wanted to remind everyone how we spend our time, what we're watching on the television or what we're spending our money on is
once again, good morning, folks. We're watching the
as any screaming can be.
Second time around.
If corporations are going to be running us right now, we can choose
outside in
to
the
buy
Capitol.
local, to pay attention to our local artists or our local farmers, buying less from Amazon,
Mr. Gulf of America,
paying less attention to Donald Trump on the
Greenland, or taking it back.
How we spend our time, period, can send a big message. And I just wanted to remind people that when it feels a little like you don't know what to do, just pay attention to where you're spending your money and spending your time.
Avant from Baltimore, Maryland, Republican line.
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for taking my call. I just want to say it's a lot of Democrats that need to put their hands behind their back. And it was a lot during the elections. Sobriety tests should have been done. There's a lot of hands behind their back action. Hey, I support Trump. I support the trucking industry. I am a trucker, and I would like to see the economy just shoot right back up, man. And shout out to the inauguration today, and hopefully everything goes well. Everything will go well, and let's get this economy back. Let's get that border built, and let's go. Let's go, America. Let's go.
From a viewer in San Diego, California, former Vice President Mike Pence, making his way to the Capitol Rotunda. Again, once serving with the former president. Let's see a little bit of this.
Hi, D. How you doing? Glad you back. Nice to see you, really.
Just trying to catch her eye.
Welcome to the watch party, I guess.
It was a
quick shot of Mike Pence making his way into the Capitol building there, others making their way to. This is from San Diego, Democrats line. This is Rain. Hello.
Hello. I just wanted to say, I noticed a lot of people are talking about different policies, and especially during the Trump administration and a lot of his advertisements, he was exclusively very anti-trans. And I noticed a lot of people put their 2 cents in on this problem, but haven't actually had experience with transgender people or for the most even met one. And as a transgender person, I think it is incredibly upsetting that we are used as an example and used as a device to get people to be scared of us when we're really just other people trying to live. And I'm just hopeful that certain choices don't make our lives a lot harder. And, you know, I'm hopeful that Trump does okay, but again, I cannot support him for how much he hurts others around me and just how he destroys a lot.
Elon Musk in that group that you're seeing right now, Jeff Bezos in that group as well. This is from Daniel. Daniel in Silver Spring, Maryland, Independent Line.
Yes, good morning. Thank you. To say Donald Trump is a remarkable person. He incites people to violence and then gets everyone believing that he believes in peace. He promises to unleash hell and gets everyone believing that he believes in peace. He has zero respect for the work of Congress or the presidential office and gets everyone hoping that there will be peace. He makes all of his money off the backs of low-income workers and then gets everyone believing that he put together a working-class coalition. I just have to say, I do hope there'll be a peaceful day, and good luck to you all.
Mark Zuckerberg in that group as well. I believe his back toward us. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in the background, hoping to become the next head of Health and Human Services. This is John in Oregon, Republican line on this inauguration day. Go ahead.
How you doing? I just want to say, Martin Luther King, you know, judge people not on the color of their skin, but the content of their character. And the content of Joe Biden's character, pardoning Fauci and the entire January 6th committee today, that's more than a bit concerning. And I think more should be looked into that. So, former Democrat, now Republican, looking forward to the next 4 years.
Stay with C-SPAN as we'll bring you the full inauguration coverage as it starts later on. Calls up until then, and if you want to give us a call, here are the numbers. 202-748-8000 for Democrats, 202-748-8001 for Republicans, and Independents, 202-748-8002. Texting is available to you by 202-748-8003.
Presents arms.
If you're paying close attention to the screen, for several former presidents walking into the rotunda. There's Barack Obama entering in now. You previously saw former President Bill Clinton and former First Lady Hillary Rodham Clinton. and former President George W. Bush and former First Lady Laura Bush.